Jamie from Inky&Scrappy sharing with you today my Fab 5 blog hop for Inky&Scrappy's 1K subscribers. I am using a bunch of Lawn Fawn stuff. I'm going to bring in some other stuff too along the way, I'm sure. This is what I've pulled out thus far. I am going to be featuring the prize stamp set today in my creation. So I am bringing in that Simon Says Stamptemer from 2022, Sledding By. This one is, the prize is just the stamp set. So along with that one, so we are bringing in that Sledding By stamp set, and then also that Snow One Like You stamp set, the Let It Shine Snowflake paper in Frozen, the 12 by 12. I also have the 6 by 6 out. I don't know exactly what size I'm going to use yet, for sure. I'm making a platform pop-up, so I am going to bring in the Platform Pop-up Hillside wraparound dies, as well as the Platform Pop-up and the Platform Pop-up Add-on, I do believe. I might modify that one. I haven't decided yet. And then my color inspiration is that Doodlebug Designs Winter Wonderland paper pack. So with that, there is also a new swatch guide, which will be up on my Inky&Scrappy blog. So if you use Oohoo bullet nibs, that will be there for you. I am going to leave the coloring in so I can explain the YouTube hop and giveaway and the prize and, you know, all those technical details. So feel free to skip ahead. I will leave them in the description box below if you don't want to watch the coloring. It is fairly sped up, so it goes pretty quick. Welcome to the Fabulous 5 Celebration YouTube hop and giveaway. And this hop is to celebrate my 1,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. Thank you to all of my subscribers. You made this hop possible. Each of us participating in this hop will be sharing creative ideas using Lawn Fawn products with a Christmas theme. We hope that you will find inspiration with each video as you hop along with us and help celebrate Inky&Scrappy's 1K subscribers. To enter the giveaway, please leave a comment at each stop in our hop by July 8th, 2023 at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. Not sure what to comment. A simple hi will do, or hey. One comment at each video will count as one entry to win the Lawn Fawn stamp set Sledding By. This was an exclusive stamp set from Stamptemer of 2022 and is no longer available for purchase, but here's your chance to win it. It is open worldwide. Winner will be announced July 12th, 2023, and you have 1 week to claim your prize. If you already own the set and you don't want a chance at this prize, just let me know. I have some backups that are available. The lineup, it starts with me, and then it'll be Steph from World of Paper Crafts, Jessica Squirrels from Jessica Squirrels channel, Jordy's Cards, and Kate from Kate's Crafts. Alright, I hope you make sure to visit each of them. I hope you are subscribed to each of them. They are wonderful, creatively fabulous creators, and they mean the world to me. And of course, with every giveaway, we have to have a disclaimer. This giveaway is sponsored by me from Inky&Scrappy and is not sponsored by YouTube or Lawn Fawn or anyone else for that matter. It's all on me, kids. Alright, I will be back July 12th with a winner, and you have 1 week to claim your prize. And back to my card. So all of my images are colored, cut out, and I did the fake snow on top of them. It was harder than I thought because it was kind of dry. So I ended up hand painting them. It was a task. Anyways, I am starting with my hills for my slider platform pop-up. So I'm using a super thick acetate. It's actually some old packaging. I don't know where it's from, but it's like a super thick plastic sheeting, kind of like, you know, the clamshell plastic, along those lines, but a little like a really thick clamshell plastic. And so I ran it through my die cut machine with multiple layers. It still didn't cut. I did end up having to go in with that little craft knife there and kind of help it along just a little bit. This is
you could use regular, well, I use a heavy duty acetate normally, which would have worked okay, but I liked that this was just a lot thicker. It worked a lot better than when I did my first slider platform pop-up. It just had way more stability there. You know, you learn as you do things. I am just coming along with all of my pieces and inking in some peacock feathers to coordinate with my I think it's called Frost paper from Lawn Fawn. And this just helps give those hills a little bit of definition. I did come in with that 6x6 Snowflake paper pack for my white hills there. And then I'm going to stamp on this front piece right away. So it's, I know, not normal for me to do it this way, but I was like, if I don't remember to do the sentiment now, I will forget until it's like all put together, and it's not easy to put the sentiment back, you know, on a platform pop-up. So I will line that up in my Misty, center it fairly good. I'm cutting off the little tab that's on the side there. I actually kind of just took a negative from one of my hills with that platform pop-up hill add-on and ended up, you know, just using the reverse part of that hill for my little, it worked. I did cut it with the actual piece. It was just a smaller piece than worked in, than what the top of the die cut. There we go. Yeah. So I'm going to start assembling, putting, you know, the score tape on all of the pieces and start from there. I hadn't decided if I really needed that back hill. I probably didn't. I did end up doing it. I hem and haw about it for a little bit. I probably wouldn't have needed to hem and haw. So here are my pieces for my actual hill pieces. Yes, I forgot to add my slider in there. A rocket scientist, I'm telling you. I am not. So for this one, instead of cutting it down right away, I'm going to sandwich it between these two layers. Would have I needed to sandwich it? Probably not. It's probably plenty sturdy without the sandwich on it. But I wanted to make sure that it was going to stay together. And then it also gives it that finished look on, you know, if you're looking at it from the back side. Because I was pretty sure I was doing the platform pop-up add-on, but I wasn't positive. And so this way I could change my mind at the last minute if I felt that I didn't need it on there or I didn't want it on there. That way I have a finished look from front and back, although I don't have the colored images on the back. So anyways, I'm going to do the same part or the same process here, and I'm pretty sure this actual slider channel is actually from the roller coaster critters. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's where that slider channel comes from. The other one is from one of Lawn Fawn's slider. I think it's just their slider dies. I have multiple slider dies from multiple companies, but I'm pretty sure that one was a Lawn Fawn one because it matched Lawn Fawn Hills. This one just happened to be, I'm pretty sure, from the Coaster Critters stamp set. So I'm going to pop off my score tape. I did use score tape and liquid glue. I like to make sure things stick together and stay together. And then now I have to be careful with my cuts because I don't want my slider channel to have an open end. So I am going to angle it just a little bit. I just need my base part to fit inside my platform pop-up. The hill can go over the side just a little bit. It's not that big of a deal. If you've watched my Coaster Critter slider pop-up, I kind of ended up like modifying it a little bit. This one definitely went a whole lot smoother than that first one did. So for my second, or my front, this one actually ends up being my front hill here. I'm just making sure that it's going to fit on that T-piece. And then before I get too much further, I want to make sure that my sliders are going to work in their slider channels. This will help me with placing this middle piece here inside that platform pop-up because I want to be able to see both pieces, and I want my hills to be, you know, staggered a little bit. So this will allow me to figure out the best placement in my platform. I could have waited to do this, you know, later on, but I find it's a little bit easier when everything is flat and you're not working with all the extra layers of the platform pop-up for this part. I'm going to bring in some slider discs and slider circles from MFT. You could probably get away with maybe some foam here, but I just find these don't get caught on slider channels and it just makes life a little bit easier. So I do sand off both of the flat sides. It gives it a little bit of catch for my glue to hold onto. And then I will do the same thing for the little circles. Now, because I'm using two, I should have just done the little circles. The fox does just fine with the oval piece and the circle piece. It's a smooth enough hill that it's not impeded or doesn't get stuck on that oval piece at all. And my bigger piece for the background one kind of gets stuck on that oval piece because of that extra little bump there. And so I do end up tearing it apart. And I do end up leaving that in for you because I like to be truthful when it comes to card process. It's not always perfect. For me, a lot of times, interactives are definitely not perfect, and they take me a lot, you know, I find hiccups and bumps along the way, but I also work through said hiccups and bumps and make them work in the end. Usually. I don't think I've thrown one card almost away, and then I pulled it back out. Yep. I'm not a quitter. Sometimes I should be and start over. It would probably be less time consuming, but it is what it is. And yes, my Distress collage medium is like half a bottle, and it's so hard to get out. I probably should downsize it into a smaller bottle so my poor arthritic hands can squeeze it without, you know, massive amounts of pain and struggle-less. Yeah. So here is where I'm going to let them dry just a little bit. I'm not very patient. And so I did end up forgetting to ink my hills here. So I'm going to move this carefully down and try to get a little bit of that hill inked. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I wanted it to have a similar look to the other one. And that was when I kind of realized, it's not moving the greatest there. And so when I tried it out, I was unimpressed with how it was sliding. I think I had it too far down, which I didn't like the placement when all was said and done. And then, but there was a reason for that placement because of that hill. And then I realized it after I put it back together. And I was like, oh, I did that because of how it ends up landing on the bottom of the hill. So, you know, I forget these things while I'm fixing. And so I did take off that oval piece and bring in a second circle piece. Now, if I'd have kept the circles closer together, I might have had a little bit better time with it as well. And so here is me trying it out to make sure that it works and that you see where it has that little bit of a gap there. So I am going to end up, I think I just ended up pushing my circle in a little bit further. And I placed my circles on these as kind of stops. I didn't want to have to do an extra stop piece on it. And so that was kind of why I ended up doing it the way I did it. So once I'm happy here, I'm going to set that off to the side. I did add a piece of foam adhesive in between the two layers. So that plain blank cardstock piece that was behind and then my colored piece in front. So I'm just going in and building my platform pop-up. And yes, I went through this fairly quickly on film. If you want to see a better, slower version for that platform pop-up, Kelly does an amazing job with it on the Lawn Fawn YouTube channel. And then I'm just going to go in and lay this down while it's flat, lining that up. It's just a little bit easier to get the placement on that one. And then for my little fox guy, I am going to make sure that he fits on that piece there. And of course, I forgot to add my score tape to the T-piece. So I do go in with a little tiny bit of glue on top. It gives me just a wee little bit of wiggle room, and it makes sure that it secures down for the long haul. It is an interactive, so I definitely like to make sure that it's got that extra glue, or that extra hold, I guess. And then this is where I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that back piece. And of course I lost the T. Yeah. This is me looking for my things. I think I probably spent half of the time looking for what I just had. Please tell me I'm not alone. So once I have that done, I'm going to just bring in, I just wanted a simple hill on the back. I really wouldn't have needed to add that hill. I could have left that T-piece out, because in the end you really don't see the trees very well that I ended up putting on there. Now, I probably should have waited to add the glue to that point, but you know, I probably should have butted these up first, made sure those ones were good, and then removed the adhesive and added the glue. So I'd have had a little more wiggle room. Now, because it's a little bit thicker, my platform pop-up probably wasn't quite on the line, that fold line, when I butted up that second side. So just know that it's probably not perfectly in line with that score line, because it might have needed a little bit more wiggle room in there. And I notice it more when I do the belly band, I guess. It's not really a belly band, but the platform pop-up band, because I had to, you know, move it. You could definitely see it at that point, because it is definitely a little bit thicker. So I'm just playing with it, making sure everything wiggles and that, you know, does what it's supposed to do. And then I'm going to go in and add some trees to that background hill. I could have made that hill taller, I suppose, and then maybe you'd see the trees a little bit more. But really, my main focus here was getting the two slider pieces on that platform. I really wasn't worried about trees or seeing the trees. And then for my front panel here, or for on the front of the card, I'm going to add in all of my little trees, and then of course that other little sledding critter coming at you on the front. And then I will glue down that front piece and then remove that double-sided adhesive, and then slowly work that around the bottom. And here is where you'll see where it doesn't quite, it's got a little bit of a gap there, which is fine. It's nobody really, you know, pays that close of attention to it. I don't pay that close of attention to it. So now I still have a few extra trees, so I'm going to fill in a little bit here, add the little swooshes of snow that are out, put in another tree, because for some odd reason I thought I was centered with my little skiing bunny and bear, and yeah, I don't know how that one happened. And then for my back tree, I wanted it up just a little bit so you could kind of see it, so I ended up doing a snow clump underneath the tree so it looks like it's not floating in the sky. And then I will finish up the back with, I was thinking about putting it on the back, and then I figured if I needed to write, it was probably going to be on that back panel. So I popped the two trees on the back so it completes the whole scene all the way around the card. And that completes my double slider platform pop-up. Make sure to visit Steph from World of Papercraft next, and the rest of the ladies from the Fab Five. Check out our new Fab Five Facebook page, the Fab Five Papercrafters. I will leave the link below for that one, but make sure you comment on all 5 videos so you are eligible for that prize. If you already own it and you'd like something else as your prize, let me know. I can make that happen as well. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing, liking, commenting. It really does help make me want to continue to do the extra work on these. So I hope you have an amazing day. Keep getting inky. Bye! This one was for you, Dad. You said I'd get here someday. I made it.